Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well today. With the Thorchain ecosystem ready to go through its first big growth phase, I figured it was a good time to summarize the various projects that are building within the Thorchain ecosystem, because if I'm right about Thorchain going through a massive growth phase, there's a very good possibilities that the projects building on top of Thorchain will benefit from this growth. It's a little bit comparable to what you saw on Solana. As more market participants came into the Solana ecosystem, the price of Sol pumped. Soon afterwards, you saw a lot of these Solana altcoins take off. Now, the reviews that I'm doing aren't going to be comprehensive. They're just going to give you introductory information. It's incumbent upon you guys to go ahead and do your own deep dives. But if there's a project that you guys really like and you guys wanted me to do a deep dive on it, I encourage you guys to let me know by commenting down below. Also, don't forget to check out the first DEX aggregator that's likely to integrate Thorchain. I've done a full video review that you guys can check out by clicking the link in the description below. And if you have any questions or concerns that you want to address, I would strongly suggest that you guys check out my Discord. Within the Discord, I have a channel dedicated to Thorchain talk. Not only is it a good way to get your inquiries addressed, but it's also a good way to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the Thorchain ecosystem. Or if you're not into Discord, at the very least, make sure you guys give me a follow on Twitter. Not only will you get updates on Thorchain, but you'll also get industry insights from me. Both the link to my Twitter profile and the Discord channel can be found in the description below. With the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this video. Alright, the first project that I'm going to introduce to you guys is XDeFi Wallet. And real quickly, I just wanted to let you guys know that they're having an IDO on the 10th of November. And if you needed instructions on how to participate, make sure you head over to their blog. You can access their blog by coming to XDeFi, clicking here on blog. You'll be redirected here, and I encourage you guys to do your own deep dive on the tokenomics, the economics, and learn about how to get involved in the IDO once you've completed your due diligence. Now, XDeFi, unlike other wallets, is going to support assets from various chains. They're starting with Ethereum, Thorchain, Matic, Bitcoin, BNB. They just added the Terra network, and they've supported Binance for a while now. And given that a lot of the projects building on top of Thorchain have a community-centric approach, I would say there's a strong possibility that if you get involved in the ecosystem, you do some trades, you provide some liquidity, there's a good possibility that you guys might end up getting airdrops. So for that reason alone, I would encourage you guys to download the XDeFi wallet and go ahead and experiment with the ecosystem. In addition to holding these layer 1 tokens and altcoins, they also make it very easy for you guys to view your NFTs in your wallet. Now, the area I think this wallet is going to be very useful in is composability with DeFi protocols that reside on various chains. So imagine taking your Thorchain LP token and using it as collateral on a protocol that resides within the Terra network. Or perhaps taking your synthetic assets from your protocol on the Terra network and providing liquidity within a pool on Thorchain. And for those of you guys that are using other wallets and don't want to spend gas sending assets over here to XDeFi, you can actually import your wallet with a private key or seed phrase. And if you guys end up doing a deep dive, I encourage you guys to watch this interview with the co-founder of the XDeFi wallet. Personally, when I do my own research and deep dives, not only do I look at the docs, the blogs, but I also like to watch interviews of core team members. Next up, we have ThorStarter. This is basically an IDO launchpad with the focus of helping fund ThorFi and DeFi projects. And ThorFi, by the way, is basically just DeFi projects that are building within the Thorchain ecosystem or building on top of the Thorchain protocol. And on top of that, they try to create liquidity pools with their native token XRune, because currently Thorchain mostly supports short tail assets and doesn't really have plans to support long tail assets. But to bridge the gap and help users get exposure to these low cap tokens via one user interface, they're going to use XRune as a liquidity relay between the Thorchain network and long tail crypto assets. So for example, let's say you wanted to buy one of these low cap altcoins with Bitcoin. On the front end, you'll just see Bitcoin get converted to this low cap coin. On the back end, your Bitcoin will be first converted into XRune via Thorchain, and then it'll get relayed to another automated market maker, and your XRune will get converted to the low cap token. So it'll basically look something like this: Bitcoin to XRune, XRune to your target token. A lot of the projects are very community centric. So as you can see here, they've allocated a large portion to an ecosystem fund and protocol emissions. This means instead of a large amount of the tokens going to early investors, they're going to be disseminated to the community. Moving along, we have ThorSwap. They just had their first and second phase of the IDO. So there was a little bit of controversy during phase 2 when people tried to get exposure to the token by providing single-sided liquidity with the Rune token. The net result was basically the Thorchain treasury front ran everybody and provided liquidity early. Also, several whale bots were able to get an early entry, which further pushed the price of the token up. So even though the price of the token started around 7.5 cents, by the time most retail participants could get in, the price got pushed up to $6. And to help rectify this, Thorchain decided to donate 100% of their Thor to fellow liquidity providers in the Thor Rune pool. The Thorchain treasury will re-add liquidity sometime in the future. Also, they're going to be giving a significant airdrop to anybody except the whales who provided liquidity early into the Thor Rune pool. Moreover, the liquidity providers are going to get a very robust yield paid in both Thor and Rune tokens. And I wanted to share that before the introduction just to show you guys that, again, many of these projects are very committed to their community-centric approach. Now, ThorSwap is the main front end used by people who interact with the Thorchain protocol, and it has been for some time now. So this means you can access the liquidity of 25 plus assets across major layer 1 blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Binance Chain, Bitcoin Cash. The interface allows you to provide cross-chain liquidity, allows you to trade native assets in a decentralized way. Aside from allowing you guys to trade native assets in a decentralized way, it also allows you to provide liquidity to the Thorchain protocol. They also make it super easy for you guys to manage your LP positions and also to monitor their health. By accessing the ThorYield app, you can go ahead and see how much you've lost or gained with your LP position. And an upcoming service that you guys can look forward to is Synthetix, which is going to be delivered by Broker Finance. On the back end, the synth holder will effectively become a liquidity provider, but if everything goes to plan, on the front end, the user will basically see themselves getting exposure to a single asset, which in the future they can earn a fixed yield on. So for example, imagine depositing Bitcoin for synthetic Bitcoin and then earning a fixed yield of 20% on that synthetic Bitcoin. Now, even though Thorchain can be integrated by other platforms in a permissionless way, like we've seen with Rango Exchange, Shapeshift, once we see Thorchain blow up and become more popular, I have a feeling that ThorSwap is probably going to take center stage. What I'm basically trying to say is that it'll be the #1 source of volume for Thorchain. Since we talked about Broker in the previous segment, I thought it'd be fitting to talk about Broker next. And they're basically creating DeFi services that simplify investing for the average user. And they do this by leveraging the power of synths that are collateralized by Thorchain liquidity providers. Investment features that you can expect on the platform in the future include automation, recommendations, and education. So it's going to be a little bit similar to the robo-advising and investing platforms that you guys have seen in the traditional finance system. Now, not only are you going to be enabled to get exposure to a broad range of assets like equities, commodities, and crypto, but they're also going to help you earn a yield on those assets. This is what you guys can expect to see in the upcoming quarters. There's a chance that the synths might be ready in this quarter here in Q4, but it looks like a lot of the DeFi related stuff isn't going to happen until 2022. Now, I do think they've allocated a little bit too much to the early rounds and the team, but at least they have approximately half allocated to the community. Now for Q1, based on the thread that they published on Twitter, this is some of what you can expect. They recently integrated with XDeFi Wallet. Next, they'll go live with their Thorchain Synthetix. When they're activated on mainnet, Broker goes live. Next, they'll integrate Terra Money and the Mirror Protocol to let everyone access US stocks with crypto. Chain trading and synthetic stocks trading available within one app and one wallet, wink wink XDeFi. Locking Mirror stocks to earn juicy APR accessible from Broker. And by leveraging the Anchor and Mirror protocols, they're going to allow you guys to earn 40% APR with low risk. And if you guys wanted more in-depth information on what I just covered, you guys can go ahead and access this blog post that they've published on Medium. Next up, we have BNPL Pay. A good resource for your own deep dives would be this podcast interview here on Runebase. They cover pretty much everything you guys need to know about the platform. Essentially, what they're doing is creating creating a network for uncollateralized lending. The capital would be sourced from DeFi users and lent out to CeFi borrowers. And the entities that are going to be mediating all this are going to be the banking nodes. Based on what I've read, it looks like in many cases it's going to be CeFi platforms. So imagine somebody like Celsius becoming a banking node and facilitating borrowing and lending between DeFi users and CeFi users. So on the front end, the CeFi user or the centralized finance user would basically do a KYC, they would go through a credit check, and based on the CeFi platform's assessment model, they'll be provided with their loan terms, and as the borrower pays back the loan, the interest plus the principal will be paid back to the DeFi lender. And you might be asking yourself, well, how is this related to Thorchain? Well, for one, Thorstory did say that they're going to help DeFi protocols in general raise funds. But in addition to that, the team in the interview on Runebase said that beginning sometime next year, they're going to go ahead and create services that are catered to the Thorchain protocol. Last but not least, we have ThorGuards. It's an NFT project that's actually endorsed by the official Thorchain team, and for that reason, I expect to see a lot of utility. I wouldn't be surprised if these NFT tokens gave you a boosted yield in the various pools, a fee reduction, airdrops, and many other benefits. And what gives me more conviction that that's likely is the fact that OX Nguyen is part of the team. He actually manages and runs Runebase that hosts all the people that are building on top of or within the Thorchain ecosystem. So I wouldn't be surprised if new projects that launch via Thorstarter or who actually are building and leveraging the Thorchain protocol as a marketing tactic end up airdropping free tokens to people holding ThorGuards. And they actually allude to some of this in their roadmap. If you read here, it says you're going to be eligible for NFT airdrops, upgrades, staking rewards. So my guess is that as more projects enter the Thorchain ecosystem, by simply holding these NFTs, you're going to be eligible for numerous airdrops. And at some point, they're going to create a DAO. Given that a lot of these projects are finance focused or oriented, I would imagine that the central goal or theme of the DAO will be centered around pursuing opportunities within the Thorchain ecosystem, which could translate into ThorGuard holders and DAO members being eligible for early stage investments. And in terms of ecosystem partners they already have, pretty much all the projects that I mentioned today are ecosystem partners of ThorGuards. If you're new to the Thorchain ecosystem and are eager to learn more, I encourage you guys to check out LP University. You guys can go ahead and join my Discord channel, or feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. Or maybe you value your time and you wanted to expedite your learning. In that case, I would encourage you guys to check out my Patreon. By signing up for one of the higher tiers, you can get one-on-one dialogue with me. If you sign up for the lowest tier I have for $20 a month, it'll grant you access to my private Discord channel where I publish my moves in real time, and it'll also give you access to the paid version of my newsletter. If you feel like any of these services would benefit you, make sure you check out my Patreon link by clicking the description below. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Crypto One Step signing out. I'll talk to you folks next time. Bye.